What's up, guys? It's your girl, Kia. I wasn't going to talk about this issue, but the more I read about it online and see what people are saying, I absolutely have to, because it's just making my blood boil. People are doing a lot of false equivalencies, comparing him to, Emmett Till, or bringing Emmett Till up in the conversation of Jussie Smollett. They are comparing him to Martha Stewart, who took her jail sentence like a G. They are talking about how all these other black people have been killed by white people and the white people are still alive. They brought up Kyle Rittenhouse. Let's stop comparing these things to other things and just call a spade a spade. Jussie did not have to go through all this. In two different occasions. The first occasion, he didn't have to stage a fake hate crime to bring attention to hate crimes. They're already happening, Jussie. And people are well aware of them. And people are talking about them and bringing attention to them and wanting them to be taken seriously. That's number one. He didn't have to do this. Number two is that they wanted him to take a plea deal. He would have gotten a couple of months probation at most, and none of this would have happened. Instead, he wanted to go to trial to prove his innocence. But we've all seen the video. You staged this. You changed your story multiple times. You could have just apologized and been done, but yet and still, you're dying with the lie for some insane reason. You have your family out here, which, by the way, if you do something wrong outside of molestation, rape, maybe murder, depending on the murder, outside of rape and child molestation, your family should be sitting behind you and supporting you and hoping that you get through this strong. What they shouldn't be doing is saying that you're innocent when the rest of the world sees that you are guilty. We all see that what Jussie did was bad. He is guilty of staging a false hate crime. He kept the noose around his neck. He adjusted the noose. He walked home with it. He told multiple stories, different relationships with these Nigerian guys. He went through all of this stuff. Instead of just saying, I made a mistake, I'm sorry. The judge was offended. I'm, as a black person, so offended when I see people bringing up Emmett Till. And yes, Carolyn Bryant, who falsely accused Emmett Till, should be in jail. That doesn't take away from what Jussie did. We keep wanting to do the what about them, what about them, what about them. If we do this for every single thing across the entire world, no one would ever be held accountable for anything. If we always do, well, what about this one time? Well, what about this one time? Then no one's ever going to be held accountable for the awful things that they do. And just because you're black, you don't get a pass to do messed up stuff. Especially when that messed up stuff affects the black community and the LGBTQIA community. The other reason why I have a big deal, and I hate the fact that people are standing up for him, is that he's wrapping himself in being black because he needs support from the community. But it's a community that you hurt. You hurt the community. When people have things happen to them moving forward, they're going to be like, oh, this could be a Jussie thing. This could be a Jussie Smollett made up thing. Maybe he's pulling a Smollett. That's what they're calling it. Maybe he's pulling a Smollett. Maybe he's pulling a Jussie. For example, when Bubba Wallace, a NASCAR driver, had a noose pulled in his garage, it was very harmful for Bubba Wallace's mental state, and he brought it up, talked about it, and was supported by NASCAR. Then people started saying, well, he's just pulling a Smollett, he's just pulling a Jussie. And then it started saying, well, a lot of these guys tie their ropes like this around, tie their ropes like a noose to pull down a garage thing. My husband's a carhead, a gearhead who's worked for other garages and worked for a big, huge auto parts store. They never tie a noose to do that. But they were skeptical of him because of what Jussie had done. That's harmful. There could be another person who, thank God, and this is going to be a weird thank God, there was a police officer, Daniel Holtzclaw, who sexually assaulted 11 different African-American women who were either prostitutes, poor income women, except for one, which is the one that ended up getting him arrested. If this would have happened, that Daniel Holtzclaw case would have happened now, they would have been saying the same thing. Maybe it's a Jussie situation. Maybe all these women are lying. Maybe they're not telling the truth. Maybe it's a Smollett. Thank God this happened way before, and people had the decency to think, these women can't be lying about something like this, but this is the damage that he has caused. And I don't like the fact that he's walking out of the court saying, I am not suicidal. No one thought you were suicidal. We just thought you were nuts. We thought this whole thing was ridiculous. His brother getting on Instagram talking about, he doesn't have a bed and he's in the psych ward. He was not in the psych ward. When you go to jail or prison, especially if you're a celebrity, they put you on this kind of, or like well, I've never been in jail or anything, but when I went to a specific facility when I was having mental issues a very long time ago, they put you on a watch for the first 24 hours that you are there because they don't know how you're going to react to being in that type of situation. So they have to monitor you and make sure that you're not going to do something crazy. You're not going to harm yourself, harm others. It's a 24-hour situation. His brother is coming out saying, well, all the support you guys have given us has gotten him moved into a regular cell. No, he went through the regular process of going into prison. Going into jail. He's out now. He's in solitary confinement. He's got a bed, and people thinking that he's going to get harmed by the police officers and the guards there. No one cares about Jussie Smollett like this. No one does. No officer is going to put their career on the line for this little idiot who could have gotten all this taken care of by just apologizing, by not doing it in the first place. But that's too much like right. And I'm sorry if this sounds like a rant and I sound so angry and offended. I just can't believe people like Taraji P. Henson and Tina Lawson are coming out saying free Jussie. Free Jussie. By the time y'all get that whole hashtag trending, he'll already be out. He's only doing, they gave him 150 days. That turns out to only be 60 days. He is not going to be in there that long. He's got 2 years of probation. It's all basic stuff. He got the right punishment for what he did. And people, and then Tina Lawson wanted to say, oh, all those people who stormed the Capitol, though most of those people didn't get arrested. That's not true. Every person that they were able to identify at the Capitol riots has been arrested and has either paid a gigantic fine, has been banned from air travel, or they have been in jail. The guy who was the QAnon chief, or the one with the Indian headdress, he is still in jail. A lot of these people have gone through trials, 60 days, 100 days, have all gotten prison time, or jail time. Stop with the fault. Well, but Kyle Rittenhouse, okay. Kyle Rittenhouse was able to claim self-defense. How can Jussie claim self-defense against himself when he started the whole hate crime? I don't want people to see me yelling at myself, so I didn't want to park this close up to the Publix front door, but it is what it is. So I just wish everybody would stop. It's time to be smarter. It's time to really think about what Jussie did and how he affected everybody. Stop trying to compare to anything else. His punishment is not he got 5 years in prison for this. No, he got a couple months. He literally got a slap on the wrist. So, and people may disagree with me, and if you do, that's fine. That's your business. You can drop that in my comments and we can get the conversation started. But please, let's not act like Jussie is this innocent kid who was falsely accused or framed of something he didn't do. He did this. He lied. What he did has a huge effect on Black Lives Matter and future people who are coming forward with hate crimes. He was wrong. End of conversation.